At the beginning of this story, some ninjas find a box on the seashore. They see a white baby inside the box, but they are shocked to see it, because they don't understand who left this baby on the seashore, in such a quiet place. But when their boss sensei sees the baby, he remembers an old prophecy, which says that, one day a white baby will come in a box by the sea. He will be the best ninja among them. And he will rescue them when they are in danger. So sensei decides to nurture him and train him, so he names him Haru. But as Haru grew older, sensei's predictions began to fail, because Haru has gotten so fat that he can't fight anymore. Also, he couldn't even master a ninja technique. Now every ninja has to practice with his hands on hot coals during training, but Haru doesn't do that. Instead, he starts eating by putting food on the coals. And after that, when everyone is practicing with a rope, Haru tries to do it too, but he does it in such a way that the rope gets stuck around his neck. But before he dies, his friends save him. They are then tasked to lift the plates from the hot water with their hands. Everyone can do it, but when it's Haru's turn he can't. Instead, he starts splashing the hot water on everyone. The next morning, their teacher sensei asked them all to sit quietly and try to talk using only their mind with each other, because if they could do that, then they would be able to talk using their mind with each other no matter how far apart they were. It would help them all a lot. But as always, Haru couldn't understand anything, so he sat quietly. Now all of them have finished their training, so sensei gives them all medals, because they are now master ninjas. They have worked hard to do things that normal people can never do, so he gives them all medals. Sensei gives a gold medal to a student named Gobiei, because he finished all the tasks first and became the best ninja. But Haru is not given a medal because he could not complete any of the tasks. At night, when sensei goes out on a mission with his entire army, Haru begs him to take him, but sensei tells him to stay in the village and watch over the village, as Haru might cause trouble if he goes on a mission. After everyone leaves, Haru dresses up as a ninja, and starts practicing like a pro ninja. But he practices in reverse and starts wreaking havoc here. But then an American girl named Sally comes here, and after seeing her, Haru falls in love with her, because this girl is so beautiful. So he starts pretending in front of her that he's a ninja and he can do everything. Actually, this girl is here to talk about a problem, but Haru doesn't listen to her, and starts showing her various ninja techniques, and since he doesn't know the techniques, he messes things up here and makes his own situation worse. He then asks Sally, "Tell me your problem." Sally says, "My boyfriend's name is Martin, but his behavior is a bit suspicious, so I want you to follow him and find out his real identity." So the next morning Haru goes out to follow Martin, but he gets stuck to the gate like chewing gum, so he realizes he can't get in through the front, so he tries to go through the back. He tries to get in with a boat. Meanwhile, Martin is preparing to start a business of printing counterfeit money. His colleague brings him a mold with which he can print money, but he can see that there is a design on one side and not on the other side, so he gets very angry and kills his colleague. But this body falls into Haru's board, so Haru gets scared and starts to run away. But before he can, the police come here, and the police think that maybe Haru did the murder and now he's trying to escape, so they follows him, but Haru evades them at the last moment. Later that night, when Haru tells Sensei everything, Sensei doesn't want to believe it. He thinks he's been fooled. But Haru decides to go to America and help that girl. But then Sensei asks him, "Where will you go to America to find her? Do you have any number?" Then Haru says, "I have a card and it says Beverly Hills." The next morning Haru says goodbye to everyone and leaves for America. Sensei gives him some gold coins to spend in America. However, Sensei then asks Gobiei to follow Haru, so that Haru's life is not in danger. Haru then gets caught in a metal detector at the airport as he tries to board the plane with the sword. Anyway, he crosses them and gets into the plane and starts talking to a boy. He says, "I'm on a mission, so I'm going to America to complete it, but if anyone gets in my way, I'll kill him." But after hearing this, the child is very scared, so he goes and tells his father, and when the child's father realizes that his child is scared by Haru, he punches him in the face, which hurts Haru. Anyway, Haru goes to America and rents a car, and when he fastens his seatbelt, it's a little tight. But he feels that someone has attacked him, so it's the right time to prove himself, so he starts attacking again and again with the knife. He also breaks the roof of the car, but after a while he realizes that there is no one there, so he drives away with the car. He then asks the hotel receptionist if there is anyone named Sally here. The receptionist says there is no one named Sally here, but if there is, I can't give any information. So Haru books him a room with some gold coins, and a guy named Joey brings him to show him the room. Haru then bursts into the room and starts checking everywhere like a detective, that he may know whether any of his enemies are sitting to kill him. Joey then asks him, "Are you a detective?" and Haru says, "No, I'm a ninja." Joey then tells him, "Please teach me some techniques because I want to learn too," so Haru gets a chance to teach someone his techniques. He pulls out two swords and starts showing some techniques that are actually child's play. However, Joey becomes impressed with him and becomes his disciple, after which the two of them try to find Sally on the streets of America. Gobi on the other hand was still following Haru, so he wouldn't get into trouble, but then Gobi saw Sally passing in front of him, so he cleverly punctured his car's tire, so Haru easily finds Sally. After seeing Sally he says, "I came from Japan to America to help you, now tell me what to do," but Sally says, "I don't need any help from you," but Haru thinks maybe Sally is saying that out of fear, so he tries to talk to her secretly, but then he starts following Sally's boyfriend. He sees him entering a nightclub with one of his partners, although Haru follows them into the club. But when he sees the steppers he tries to impress them with his dance, but soon the bouncers saw this and four of them grabbed him and threw him outside into the dustbin, because it was impossible for one person to lift him. Meanwhile Martin comes to a man named Mr. Ozaru, because Mr. Ozaru has promised to give them a mold to print money, but he doesn't keep his word and takes them to the gunpoint, so here the gunfire starts and two of Ojaru's men die, but both of these bodies fall in front of Haru just like before, so the next morning police think Haru may have committed the murder, but at the hotel Haru tries to connect with Sensei with the help of his mind, I mean through the telepathy power that they were taught, and when he connects Sensei tells him to look up Martin's home address in the phone directory. That's why he quickly found out Martin's home address. But the next morning when he goes to Martin's house he sees Sally going here, so he is totally shocked. He goes to check Sally's car and he finds a letter here and he finds out that her name is not Sally, her name is Allison. He then thinks that this girl Allison cheated on him, so he decides that he is going to get revenge. So he sneaks into his room and asks her, "Tell me the truth or I'm going to do something bad to you." Sally then started telling him the whole truth. She said, "I had a sister named Carla who lived with Martin, but my sister has not been found for a while, so I came here to find my sister and find out all about Martin, because I suspect that Martin might be involved in some illegal activity," but then they realize that Martin has arrived so they hide. Haru hides in a room and Sally sends Martin away, then they also start following Martin. They arrive at a restaurant, where Haru pretends to be a waiter and starts talking to Martin, while Sally waits for him outside with a car. A little later some of Martin's rival gang come to kill Martin. But as they go to kill him, Haru accidentally stabs him with a knife and killing him, so here the gunfire starts and here Haru would have died but at the last moment Sally saved him and left, but Martin also sees Sally running away with Haru, so he realizes that maybe Sally is cheating on him. Meanwhile, Sally moves into a room with Haru and they spend the whole night there. The next morning they start planning how they can stop Martin and catch him. They finally realize that Martin wants to print counterfeit money and for that he will meet a man today, so they go knock the guy unconscious and take all the information, and a little later when Martin comes here, Haru pretends to be the guy and drives off with Martin. And Sally starts following their car. Martin then takes Haru to his go down and asks him to make counterfeit money. Although Haru can't make counterfeit money, he tries anyway, but when he tries to steal some plates and escape, Martin catches him, and he stuck him in the trunk of the car. Martin then comes over to talk to his rival gang about the plates, and they find out they have one side of the plate and the rival gang has the other, so they exchange the plates. Meanwhile, Sally comes and saves Haru's life. But then Haru plays a trick and says, "I'm going to get Martin right now, you wait," but he can't catch Martin, instead he falls into a hole. But then Sally calls the police and tells the whole truth about Martin. She says how Martin wants to make counterfeit money and how he kills people. But then Martin finds her and kidnaps her. A little later the police arrive and see Haru standing in front of them. So they think maybe Haru is the killer they were told about on the phone, so they want to arrest him, but at the very last moment Gobi throws a smoke bomb and saves Haru from the cops. Then the next morning Haru goes out with Joey with all his weapons to save Sally, but Haru forgot the road, he forgot which road he took last night, so he couldn't go forward, so again Gobi helps him. However, a little later Haru comes to Martin's hideout, but he can see there are many goons waiting to kill him. So he decides to run away in fear, but before he can escape everyone comes to kill him, because of which his life is in danger, so now Gobi has to come directly to save Haru's life. While Gobi is fighting everyone, Haru comes in front of a room, where through a gap in the door he can see Sally tied up and a time bomb planted, so Haru wastes no time making 2 holes in the door with a machine, and puts his hand through to try to defuse the bomb, but instead of defusing he activates the bomb, starting a 5-minute timer. But then he hears Gobiei screaming. Actually everyone was beating Gobiei, but when Haru sees his friend being beaten by everyone he decides to kill them all in anger. He goes and starts killing them all, and after seeing these, Gobiei was totally shocked, because he couldn't understand how Haru got so much power. After killing everyone they have to face Martin and his friend, and while they are fighting Martin sneaks a shot at Haru and tries to escape. But when Martin fires several shots at Haru cuts the bullets with his sword. And after seeing these, Martin tries to run away in fear, but then Haru can see in front of the room that the bomb is about to explode, so he uses a machine to send a rope, and with that rope he throws the bomb on top of Martin's truck. Although Martin saves himself from the bomb, the police arrive and arrest Martin. And now that Haru has completed his mission he approaches Sensei with his friends Gobiei and Sally. Haru tells Sensei, "I will marry this girl and live in America from now on." After hearing this, Sensei gives him permission, but as he is leaving Gobiei gives him his gold medal, because Haru saved his life. He then says goodbye to everyone and gets into the car, but there is a rope attached to the back of the car and this rope is tied to Gobiei's wheelchair, and as he drives off, Gobiei follows him, and at such a point, this entire movie ends here.